just wanted to get on here and talk a little bit about our process of getting to Hawaii, because a lot of people have asked, is it easy to get here? What's the process like? We've been wanting to come and didn't know if it was even a possibility with everything that's going on. And so we've actually had this trip planned for a couple of years, and we were supposed to go last year in 2020.
Right.
But then we had to reschedule it because of everything. And as of right now, if you're thinking about planning a trip, we are going to tell you what it was like, or Ed's going to tell you because he did all the work, what it was like going through all the requirements to get to specifically Oahu, because that's where we are.
When you're watching this and where you're going determines a whole lot. We wanted to go to Kauai, but then Kauai instituted a mandatory 14-day quarantine, which I now believe is 10 days, whether you test negative or not. And so that changed everything for us, because we then had to go to a different island that would allow a negative COVID test to let us
come in without quarantining.
Be exempt from quarantining. So that led us to Oahu. And so depending on your island, there's different requirements. Right now with Kauai, they're still requiring that mandatory quarantine whether you test negative or not. Maui has pre-testing and post-arrival testing. I think they have like immediate post-testing once you get off the flight, and then 4 days later you have to test again.
In addition to, you have to present a negative test when you get there.
Pre-testing.
And then they test you when you get off the plane.
Yeah.
And then they test you again 4 days later.
Yeah.
So 3 tests.
Right. The best thing to do, more than listening to us, is go to hawaiicovid19.com. That is their official website. It's sanctioned by the government. All the information on there. It might seem daunting, but just read it and find out, what does my island require of me today? So for us, January of 2021, going to Oahu, that just meant that we needed a negative test to show them, uploaded to their website so that they knew, okay, we have gotten a test, we have tested negative, and we will be exempt from the quarantine. Hawaii requires you to set up an account on travel.hawaii.gov. So you have to go on, you got to make an account, username, password, the whole thing. On that website, you tell the state of Hawaii when your flight is, what your flight number is, what airline you're using, where you're staying, what hotel it is, the address, everything, dates. They want to know your whole trip. From that point on, then you have documents that you need to upload associated with that, the primary one being a negative COVID test. The problem is, when they first launched the program, which was around October 2020, people were showing up with negative tests from places that were not sanctioned by the state of Hawaii. So when you go to hawaiicovid19.com, you can find out all the different places that Hawaii accepts as a provider, as a test provider. And Rite Aid and CVS are on that list, but they basically flat out on their website say we can't guarantee the turnaround time. As of today, January 2021, you have to have that negative test in hand and uploaded to Hawaii's website before you even get on the last leg of your trip to Hawaii. So, within that 72-hour clock, for us, that meant our flight was leaving Monday at 2 p.m. Friday at 2 p.m. started our 72-hour window to get everything done, which brings us to a very big tip, because we used Vault Health, which is an online test provider approved by the state of Hawaii, where you send in for a test, they mail you a package, you do not open that package upon arrival, you wait till you need to take that test. And so that for us was Friday at 2 p.m. And the biggest tip that I can say about Vault is on our final piece of paper, where it was stamped with Hawaii's emblem, and this was the one that Hawaii wanted to see. It didn't list the time for the actual test. So we were tracking back 72 hours, but really, we could have taken the test any time of the day on Friday, and it would have actually been okay. Because I didn't know that the time wasn't going to be posted on there, and I was like being so specific to make sure we followed every rule to the T. I made it fall within the 72-hour window. We did it right at 2 p.m. Vault was amazing. We loved our experience there. We logged in. We were on our computers around 1:30. We were both signed in. We click into the experience. You join a waiting room, and then you get on a Zoom call with a doctor who watches you open the package, take the test. It's a saliva test, so you spit into a tube, cap the tube with some other liquid, shake it up, seal it, put it in a prepaid UPS overnight envelope, to which we then took to our nearest UPS store.
This was a really good thing that you thought of, that you might not think of if you're doing it after work or like at a time that's convenient for you. Make sure that you account for UPS being open when you need to send the test in. So like we did our test at 2, and he luckily had the foresight to realize like we had to get it to UPS by 4 p.m. because that's when they close. And if he would have missed that, then we wouldn't have been able to overnight it, and then we wouldn't have had our test results in time.
And the thing about Vault is on their website, they all but essentially guarantee they can turn it around in time in the 72 hours. And they give you this chart that says if your flight leaves on X day, here's when you need to order your test, here's when you need to take your test, here's when you need to ship your test. It was amazingly helpful. So I was really thankful for Vault Health on that matter. We UPS'd it overnight, which UPS scared the crap out of us. To this day,
It's not
UPS is not confirmed if
that
our
it's
test
arrived, but it
at
did.
the center.
We got the results.
Yeah, we only found out because Vault Health contacted us and says, hey, we got your package.
Yeah.
So once we had that file from Vault, they literally sent us an email and said, your results are ready. We logged into our Vault profile, and it was labeled so easy. It said Hawaii results. Like, there was a standard page, but then there was one that was like, this one is for Hawaii. Like, they're basically screaming at you. You uploaded that one to the website, automatically got the negative connotation on travel.hawaii.gov for each of our account, which was great. And for us, we were flying United. And so before the last leg of our trip, which was in Denver, United was very, very clear, hey, once you have that negative test uploaded 24 hours before, you're going to get an email from Hawaii that you need to take another health questionnaire related to travel.hawaii.gov. We took that questionnaire. They provided us a QR code, all right? So we had to take the test, upload the test. 24 hours before, we had to take another questionnaire. It was just a few questions. It was like 5 questions. Are you feeling not well? Have you traveled anywhere recently? It was really, really basic. Filled that out. Got our QR code. You're going to really need 2 things to show everybody, your airline, the state of Hawaii, whoever. You're going to need to be able to log in, so save those credentials, know your credentials. You're going to have to log in to travel.hawaii.gov to show that little negative
There'll be
symbol.
2 green check marks. They want to
Yep.
see the check mark. So
Yep.
have it up. Save your password.
Yep.
It'll make life easier.
And have that QR code also handy because everybody wants to see it. Our rental car agency wanted to see it. When we checked our bags in Pittsburgh, they wanted to see it. Denver wanted to see it. Everyone wants to see that every step of the way. And then through United, we were able to show that QR code before we ever boarded the plane, which is what Hawaii, really requires of you to have that negative test, have the QR code. And United was able to give us a wristband. This is to them. I'm not actually sure what the other airlines are doing. So when we walked off the plane, it was like
We were done.
it was it.
Once
it
we
was
were
done.
off the plane, we were out. And nobody talked to us. Nobody asked us for anything.
Yeah.
Nobody looked at anything.
So those are the steps.
And make sure you have that QR code before you take off from your last leg of your trip. You cannot get that while you're in the air because that does not count. You have to have it while you're still on the ground before your last flight. We hope that's helpful. If you have any questions, definitely feel free to reach out to us. Again, we are in Honolulu on Oahu, and so a lot of this stuff is specifically related to Oahu, but you can go to any of these websites to find out more information. As long as you follow the protocol, it is possible to come to Hawaii right now. There's so many things that are open. There's definitely a lot of tourists here, but we think it's a great time to come because so many people aren't traveling right now. If you feel safe traveling, you're going to experience fewer crowds, shorter wait times for things. So we definitely recommend coming to Hawaii.